Hello everyone, and I welcome you all to this new video tutorial on certificate management with Kubeadm. Now, by default, the client certificates generated by Kubeadm will going to get expired in 1 year. So it becomes very critical to understand how to manage certificate renewals with Kubeadm. So in this tutorial, we are actually going to understand how we can manage certificates using Kubeadm. Before we dwell into the practicals, now what we are going to do is we are going to understand the process first. So first step. The first step will going to check the certificate status. So we are going to check the certificate status first, which will going to give us the details when our certificates are going to get expired. Once this is done, what we are going to do in the second step is we are going to take the necessary backups. Very crucial before we are doing any critical activities like certificate management, upgrades, and so on and so forth. Now, when we talk about backups, I strongly suggest you to do backups in 3 different ways. If you are using VMs, please take the snapshots. Secondly, it's always good to take the backup of your etcd as well. And thirdly, there are 2 critical directories which will be involved in the certificate management. One is etc Kubernetes PKI and some files in etc Kubernetes as well. So it's always better to take the backup of etc Kubernetes directory, which will going to have your etc Kubernetes PKI directory as well, where all of the certificates are stored by default. Right? It's always better. In this tutorial, I am not going to take the backup of using these 2 methods, but it's highly recommended. Then once this is done, step number 3, we are going to renew the certificates. And once this is done, we need to do another step. And that another step is we need to make sure to recreate all static pods, which are used by Kubernetes. So when I say all static pods, that doesn't mean that if you have any application static pods or application pods which are running as a static pods to recreate them. No, this is all used for our Kube API, scheduler, etcd, right? So for all those, the static files which are available in etc Kubernetes manifests file. Once this is done, step number 5 will going to be to replace the admin.conf. Now the new certificates have been updated in the admin.conf file as well. So we need to replace this file so that we can have the latest certificates. Once this is done, we will verify the things using Kubeadm command or kubectl command rather, that this command is working fine with the new certificates or not. And we will check the certificate status as well. So these are the typical 6 steps which we need to perform. If you are having HA Kubernetes cluster, then you need to replicate these steps in all controller nodes. In our case, if we go back, so this is our cluster. If I do kubectl get nodes, see here we have 1 control plane and we have 2 workers. So what we are going to do is, first step, we are going to check the certificate status. And the command will going to be kubeadm certs check -expiration. Enter. See this. So our certificates will going to expire on 17th September 2025. So there are still 299 days. Right? And even if you see here, it will actually going to show you all the files and the certificates as well. See this: admin.conf, controller manager.conf, scheduler.conf, and superadmin.conf. So these files will going to get updated, and these all certificates, API etcd client, API server kubelet client, etcd, right, and front proxy client, these certificates will going to get renewed. Right? Now, in order to verify this, what you can do is ls etc Kubernetes, or just do etc Kubernetes first, and you should be able to see these files. See this admin.conf. You will be able to see controller manager, see here controller manager, scheduler, superadmin.conf. So whatever files you see here, these files will going to get replaced. Right? At present point in time, you can see the date. Once our work is done, you will be able to see the things will be changed. So the date will going to be changed. Now, you might be thinking about kubelet.conf also. This file is not included here. Why? Because kubelet.conf configuration is automatically managed by Kubeadm. When I say configuration, I'm talking about the certificate renewal. So the certificate renewal is an automatic process for kubelet.conf. So Kubeadm will going to take care of that, and hence this file is not a part of the manual certificate renewal because it's an automatic inbuilt process in Kubernetes. Right? So this is one thing. Next is, if I clear my screen and I run this command again. Now, if I do ls etc Kubernetes PKI, if I do this, you should be able to see all these certificates. See here, API server. See this. These two certificates will going to be renewed. See here, API etcd, kubelet. You will going to see all this. See here. These all will going to get renewed, and you will see the date will going to get changed after certificate renewal. So first step is the check. So we have checked it. Second step is necessary backup. In production, it is highly recommended to take backup of your VMs, or if you are using any backup software, make sure you are having your file system or server level backup in place. Then etcd backup, it's always critical when it comes to Kubernetes activities. And then these two directories. So in our case, because our directory PKI will be included in etc Kubernetes, so we are going to take the backup of etc Kubernetes only. So let me create mkdir where temp yogesh backup directory, right, or back directory. Now what we are going to do is cp-r etc Kubernetes, and we are going to put everything here. Just to verify it, we will switch and we will verify that everything is there. See this Kubernetes directory. Under Kubernetes directory, we have everything there. If you do ls-lrt, you can do pki. See this. And even we have our static pods directory as well here now, which we have taken a backup of. So if you do ls to manifest here, these all are the static pods: scheduler, controller manager, kube API, and etcd. So these pods we need to recreate once our certificate renewal is completed. So we have taken the backup. Let's come out, and now let me clear a screen again and come back. Right? So our backup is also completed. Now what we need to do next? Next is the renewal. Now you can individually renew a certificate, or you can renew all certificate using Kubeadm certs command. So Kubeadm certs. So if you do --help, you will be able to see the details here. See here, renew certificates for a Kubernetes cluster. So if you take this and you do renew --help, you should be able to see the details. If you see here, there is something called all. This will going to renew everything, all certificates. In case you want to renew a particular certificate, you can even use these options. In our case, we will use all. So if we check, if I just run check expiration again, enter. So we are going to renew everything. So what we are going to do is Kubeadm certs renew all. Renew all. Enter. See this? It started renewing this stuff for us, and see here, it's completed now. Done. Renewing certificates, you must restart Kube API server pod, controller manager pod, scheduler pod, and etcd pod. So we are getting this here as well. So once the renewal is done, we will see the things. Now, what we have to do next? So our certificate renewals are done. If you are having multi cluster, then you need to repeat all these steps on all control planes. So we need to recreate the static pods now, right? As shown here. So what we will do? etc Kubernetes and manifests. These are the certificates these are the pods which we need to recreate. So if you do kubectl get pods -n kube system, you should be able to see they all are running. So if you see here, we are having etcd, API, controller manager, as well as scheduler. So what you can do is you can remove them and restore it from backup, or you can move them and then place them back. Completely up to you. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove them. rm-rf star. So I am in etc Kubernetes manifest. So don't run this command anywhere. Make sure you are in a same working directory from where you wanted to remove the files. Enter. Done. Now if I do kubectl get pods -n, you will see things are stuck. Now control C, ls, see here everything is gone. Now what we are going to do is we are actually going to bring them back here so that they can take the new certificates and come up. So what we do is, so we have where temp Yogesh back manifests, Kubernetes manifests. This is a place where we have taken a backup of them. So what we are going to do is cp right. So you can do star and you can do dot. So anything available here, bring it in the current working directory. And our current working directory is etc Kubernetes manifests. So everything is back here. What it will do is it will now when we have removed it, everything is gone because these are static pods. And once the files are back here, YAML files are back here, Kubernetes will going to bring these static pods again. Means it will going to create them again. Now, if you do kubectl get pods -n kube system, enter, see this. Everything is up now. And if you see here, controller manager, scheduler, etcd, API, everything is up now. Right? Now, this is also done. Next, admin.conf. Now, because certificates has been renewed. So if you do ls-lrt etc Kubernetes, enter. If you closely see, the date is 22nd November. When we have checked this earlier, it was 17th September here. Now see here, admin.conf, controller manager.conf, scheduler.conf, and superadmin.conf. See here, everything is with new dates. It means these files are updated. And admin.conf file is the file where we have certificates, because we use this file in order to interact with our Kubernetes cluster. Right? Likewise, if you talk about PKI, so if I do ls, if I go back, etc Kubernetes, if I do ls to PKI, see here, all these certificates are renewed. API server etcd client, API server kubelet client, front proxy client. See here, everything is renewed. Right? Next. Now, as we know, admin.conf file has been updated. So it's always better to replace our existing admin.conf with the updated admin.conf. So in my case, I'm doing everything as a root. So if I do ls root and I go to .cube directory and I do ls, see here my config file. right? If I do diff, let's check the differences, .cube config with etc Kubernetes admin.conf. So I'm just checking what differences has been done. Enter, see here, the certificates has been changed. See this. Client certificate data, client key data. This is changed. Client certificate data, client key data. So what we are going to do is we are going to make sure to have updated admin.conf file with us. So we will just say cp admin.conf to root.cube and config. Now in your case, if you are having non-root user, just go to the home directory of a user. You will be able to see .cube directory there, and under that you will be having a config file. So just replace it. Right? So this is also done. Now we will just run kubectl commands to verify everything is working fine. So if I come back, kubectl get nodes, super, kubectl get pods -n kube-system. This is awesome. Everything is working fine. And finally, we will verify the certificate. So Kubeadm search check -expiration. Enter. See this. They will expire on November 22nd. After 364 days. Everything is renewed now. Right? So this is how we change or renew our this is how certificate management is being handled for Kubeadm in Kubernetes. Again, before we go, I will just take you to the documentation as well. Just go to kubernetes.io, click on documentation, click on tasks, scroll down. You should be able to see administer a cluster. So here you have administration with Kubeadm. Just click this also. Scroll down and see here certificate management with Kubeadm. So if you click here, see this certificate management with Kubeadm. So client certificate generated by Kubeadm will going to expire after 1 year. Scroll down, you should be able to see how to handle custom certificates, or if you are using external CA mode as well. Scroll down, see this etc Kubernetes PKI where everything will be there. Scroll down, see this Kubeadm search check expiration. This command will going to provide us the details. And if you scroll down, see this. If you want to renew everything, you can do this. And then see here, they are also suggesting us to replace the new updated admin.conf file with the existing config file, which we are using to interact with our Kubernetes cluster. Super. I hope this is useful for everyone. I struggled when I did the renewal for the first time. So I thought of creating everything in a video tutorial so that it can be useful for anyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in probably some other videos.